now we're getting ready for the action. This is real action, and I can tell you a metamorphosis is coming. A Catilana is coming. A bombastic invasion is coming. You may not be ready for it, but I think teams have not just closed up. Teams are on par with Red Bull. Take it or leave it. I said it in yesterday's podcast that I can see McLaren, Ferrari in the qualifying jostling for positions to take pole. Then in the last race I said this race is just a McLaren Ferrari race. Red Bull might be lucky, but it's very glaring now. Some people might say, yeah, Red Bull were on mediums. Will you explain to me? This is not about mediums or soft tires. The Red Bull that I'm seeing since yesterday are struggling. They are trying to keep consistency. They are trying to show the world that no, we have the power. We've got this. We have the car. We have everything. But it is not coming up. It is not synchronizing. It is not shaping up. That is the power of pressure. See, it's easier for a man that has nothing to lose to go all out and fight and win than a man that has a lot to lose to go all out, fight and win. He will want to protect his status and everything. That is where Verstappen and Red Bull are now. They are trying to protect their glory, their lead, but it is not coming. Ferrari have closed up to them. McLaren have closed up to them. McLaren and Ferrari, they have nothing to lose in this game. Seriously. They are just out there to put pressure, like funny pressure. So when they know the secret, I've said it since last year, put Red Bull under pressure, they are going to make mistakes. Pressure, they are going to fall. They are still under mild pressure now. Since yesterday, they have been inconsistent. If you see the way they were cutting grasses yesterday, though Ferrari too had some session of lawn mowing, but the more session of lawn mowing were on the Red Bull side. The inconsistency were on their side, that their drivers were complaining. This is showing what the eclipse we're about to see. And if Red Bull are not very careful, I said it from last year that if they upgrade it, overdo it, that car will fall over. But now they brought an RB20 and it's a different car. But now it seems that they themselves don't seem to understand the RB20, the development level. Where they brought the car in the season was a championship level. It was fast, very fast. But now it seems like they don't even understand the car. Yeah, they don't understand the car. The car is far away from them. The car is like a higher degree of some crazy levels for them. They cannot handle the development of the car. They can't handle it. So other teams have closed up. Ferrari just closed up all in one upgrade, and they're still having upgrades to come. This is their first major upgrade. Going to have like 1 or 2 major upgrades coming, and here they are. They've closed up. The major upgrade that McLaren brought, they closed up. I said yesterday that if McLaren tune it a bit, they will be closer. Now the FP3, McLaren were topping, as in the distance was like day and night. Ferrari have a lot in their cupboard that they will still unlock. Mercedes with their upgrade are still trying to unlock, but Red Bull are struggling. They are over pushing the car. They are trying to find the limit, trying to find where the car is, trying to find the breaking point, but the car is telling them, no, you won't break me. I can't go more than this. If you want me to go more than this, you break me. That is what the car is saying. So it's showing that we are in for a good, long, good old day season. And it's going to be interesting. So the breakdown of the FTP3, Alonso called out the first red flag when he shunted into the barriers and he crashed his rear side and some part of the front side. We hope it's not a big accident. It will not affect the gear and it will be able to get him out in the qualifying session as early as possible. The runs were going, the high fuel runs, the low fuel runs, but I can still see it. We can still see that the McLaren and the Ferrari are still the team to beat on those runs, the high fuel and the low fuel runs. The long runs, they are still the team to beat. They have the consistency, they have the pace. Oh Jesus, Red Bull, something is wrong. The Mercedes struggled. They changed the setup on the 2 cars, but I think they got it right on Hamilton's car. Maybe they are not showing their hand, we don't know yet. But on Russell's car, they are trying so many things. You know, Mercedes will try a lot of things. That is Mercedes. They will keep trying, especially Hamilton. He will keep trying so many things. But here we are. The V-Cab look fast. The Alpine looks a little bit fast, but the V-Cab are fast. Now we are going into the qualifying, and I'm telling you, this qualifying is going to be close. 100% is going to be very close. Qualifying is going to be between Ferrari and McLaren. Red Bull might get a nip. You know, they've tried it on different tracks, but here it will be difficult. But they might try, but I can see Red Bull might be coming on the third roll, and the Mercedes might be the surprise team in the qualifying and in the race. Surprise team. I didn't say surprise team by winning the race. Mercedes are far from winning any race for now. That's the truth. Except they can build consistency and they can bring some upgrades that can bring stability to the car. They still have bouncing. They are still porpoising. Their rear still looks steady, but they've gotten some balance on the car. But Mercedes should not just think about pushing too hard to win a race. That's why they are not even pushing their car too hard. I'm sure they are not pushing their engine. If they're pushing the engine, then you will see the kind of speed they will be churning out. But when you have a balanced car, you have a very rigid structure that you can develop on. Then you can push upgrades that will give you that rigidity. But Mercedes are still far from winning any race this season. So I can tell you, McLaren, Ferrari, then maybe Mercedes will surprise us. But the Red Bull, well, after the race tomorrow, I'll give you more talks. But let's go watch the qualifying and the race, and I tell you my verdict. But like I said, if Red Bull, certainly I don't see them winning this race. I've said that over 2 weeks ago that they can't win this Imola race. I don't see them winning. And if they lose the race in Monaco, that will just throw the championship open like it's a blank check now. Because I can tell you, Mercedes 2 will bring up upgrades. They will come into the game and it will be so tight. And if any team should go ahead of the Red Bull before the mid of the season, hey, Oya Sokwe Otilo, you don't go. Up on the qualifying. I love you guys. What a performance. What a qualifying. This is what we want to see in qualifying. This is exactly what we want to enjoy in qualifying. And this is one of the best qualifying in a long time. Max Verstappen clinching the pole, tying Ayrton Senna's 8th consecutive pole in F1 history. With a lot of bad days for them yesterday, they came strong today. Not in P3, they came strong in qualifying. And I can tell you, I still hold on to my words. I don't see them winning the race tomorrow. They're having Oscar Piastri's and the Lando Norris's right behind him. It's going to be a very, very difficult race for Red Bull, and it's going to be a very, very difficult race for him tomorrow. Charles Leclerc is there. The Ferrari are so fast all through the weekend. The McLaren are so fast all through the weekend. I can tell you, if the two McLarens can jump Max Verstappen by turn 1, turn 2, Sokwe Otilo is gone. The race is just ended at that point. Leclerc and Sainz will put pressure on him. The Mercedes were not so fast as we thought they were fast. They were not so fast. But what a qualifying. And Logan Sargent, Alonso, Magnussen, Zhou Guanyu, Bottas were out in Q1. Alonso could not really participate in FP3 because of his shunt and the accident he had. He also had to take to gravel in the first part of qualifying because he didn't get any much pace in the car in FP3. And I think for those that didn't really get pace in FP3, they have issues in the qualifying. And also I think the temperature played a really big impact on what happened to the Red Bull. The temperature was much more better. Any slight increase or decrease in temperature really affects the tire, the way the tire reacts. And I think the tire reacted to temperature, and I think that was one of the things that played a critical part of how Max Verstappen was able to clinch the pole position. And in Q2 we have Pierre Gasly, Alex Albon, Lance Stroll, Ocon, and Sergio Perez knocked out by Daniel Ricciardo in Q2. A lot of uncertainties for him, but the star of the show in Q2 was Yuki Tsunoda, picking up the 3rd position in Q2. That was marvelous. He didn't even come out to waste his tire. That was how confident he was. His teammate Ricciardo struggled, but I think Ricciardo still have more race pace than him. So let's see what happens between them tomorrow. But the VCAB is showing us that they might be ahead of Mercedes because they are far ahead of Aston Martin now. Even with the upgrade that the Aston Martin have brought, the VCAB are still ahead of them. And I think it's going to be an interesting race. Stacking up with Max Verstappen on pole, Oscar Piastri is somebody that is so hungry. If he is able to jump Verstappen and Lando Norris is able to get a slipstream, a decent slipstream, and jump him tomorrow, it's going to be a difficult race for the Red Bull tomorrow. We have Verstappen on pole, Piastri 2nd, Lando Norris 3rd, Charles Leclerc 4th, Carlos Sainz 5th, Russell 6th, with Mercedes struggling and struggling all through. That Mercedes, for Mercedes fan, sorry. Yuki Tsunoda 7th, Lewis Hamilton 8th, Daniel Ricciardo 9th, and Nico Hülkenberg 10th. Naturally, I thought Max Verstappen would be on the 3rd roll, but unfortunately, we have him on the 1st roll and one Ferrari on the 3rd roll, one Ferrari on the 2nd roll. But it's going to be a very interesting race tomorrow, I can tell you. These are the races we want to see. They were so close. The top 3 were under a 10th. That's how close they are. And I know if there's consecutive draws like this, we will see something interesting coming up in some next races. But I can tell you, tomorrow, I don't see Max Verstappen winning this race. That's my opinion. I'm not saying you should bank on it, but that's what I'm seeing and I'm feeling, and I feel there's going to certainly be McLarens on the podium, and I feel there will be a Ferrari on the podium tomorrow. Up until tomorrow, I love you guys. Thank you. Bye. Cheers. Yeah.